So welcome again, everyone, to today's live session with Sifu Tony Wong.
Hello, everybody.
As a lot of you have been studying with Sifu Tony for some time, um, you're familiar with Shifu, but I also wanted to make a very quick introduction to those of you who haven't been studying with Shifu Tony but saw this opportunity and wanted to learn a little bit more about Tai Chi, and perhaps some of you are here to learn a little bit about the upcoming Xinjia workshop. So Shifu has been teaching Chen Tai Chi Chuan for many years, many decades, in fact. And he has students all over the Bay Area. And he's also been teaching classes and workshops in other locations as well. His students have trained and certified as instructors, and there are a number of students who are teaching in different places, also in across America. Those of you who are interested in learning about Shifu's own Tai Chi journey can check out his profile in his very retro-like website, chenfamilytaichi.com. Without further ado, I just wanted to mention that Shifu has many different trainings and many teachers. One of the things that keeps drawing me and other students to him is just the humbleness in him and the willingness and generosity to share what he's learned from different teachers. One of his main teachers, he's a disciple of the late Grandmaster Chen, who has said Tai Chi belongs to the world. And so, with this spirit, Shifu Tony has been teaching Tai Chi tirelessly, many weekly classes and weekend classes and workshops, and hosting visiting teachers and masters through all of these activities, spreading the art of Tai Chi Chuan. And we're so lucky to have you today to offer this session to just answer people's questions about Tai Chi. Originally, I had wanted this session to be really talking about how we can customize our own Tai Chi learning, studies, and training to fit our needs. And every student's needs are different and also changes over time as well. And so I'm gonna just give this general topic to Shifu Tony and have him introduce his perspective, and later have an opportunity for everyone to sort of ask questions if you have any lingering or new questions. I want to mention now that you have the chat box. You can use the chat box to ask your questions. And when we switch to the question and answer session of a section of the session, Tony will help you or help us bring the questions live. And so now to Tony.
Thank you, Yan. Thank you, Kathy, for letting us use this beautiful place. And a lot of people behind the scene actually put this together. And of course, Yan masterly put this whole program together. And we have Tony related doing the Zoom and Shushu recording. A lot of people working. So I wanted to start off. People kind of know me that I normally will hold my class very casual. So people are well in a really, I would say, a welcoming atmosphere. People not afraid to ask questions. So one of the things that I normally do at work, I learn, is just become very casual. Just do what I normally do instead of making it very formal. And although I cannot see a lot of you that the way how I set up my Zoom a little bit different. So so I normally go right up to the screen and see who's there and stuff. So I'm gonna be a little bit more formal in that sense. And so I think the topic we put together is called To Each Their Own Taiji. And that title gives you an idea that we all do Tai Chi differently. Everybody come to Tai Chi for different reasons. Some for martial art, some for health, some actually just because we are a nice bunch of people. People just come to our class to social and to hang out, to find a connection. So all that are good. There's no right and wrong. And I think is as long as you're happy with what you're getting. And many questions. I read some of the questions that people before this Zoom session that people think about. Okay, what should I do if I'm older? Should I be doing fudging? And what should I do when I'm in different stage? And as for beginner, we always talk about Tai Chi, the yin and yang, and that yin and yang bring up a lot of questions. A lot of time people say, okay, Sifu, should I have 70% on this size, 30% or 40 or 60 or how low? And I think we all different. I would be actually telling different students a different answer. It's based on your background. A lot of time when you actually have knees problem, you might not want to sing as slow, or when people they actually wanted to strengthen their physical strength are very different. Even the same person in different age, we actually do Tai Chi differently. So that's why one of the question a lot of time there might be question like, Sifu, you didn't do it this way. People naturally change. It just naturally. And people's perspective also change. Maybe there are people that come to Tai Chi class just for health reason. After 6 months, a year, they change. They say, oh, there's different stuff actually in Tai Chi. There's martial art, there's push hand. Or there are people they thinking about wanted to do more martial art or push hand, and then they draw into I would say, the flow of Tai Chi and how it very peaceful when you're doing Tai Chi, how you I would say melt into this atmosphere, like the sensation, or I would say it's almost like the atmosphere that that allow you to express yourself when you're doing your Tai Chi. So there was actually a few times I asked students, after you practice for a while, you need to have your own expression of Tai Chi. Otherwise, it is not yours. You can copy me or copy Yan or copy Chen Wong or Xinjia, my teacher, but that's not your Tai Chi. You need to express almost like your like the calligraphy. You might learn the basic and the principle of Tai Chi, and you have to have a way of expressing the way that how you this art kind of like become part of you, integrated, and that's why we talk about the term like integration. It's not only about the physical, it's how you mentally integrate it into this art. And I really think that help people to bring to the next level of Tai Chi. The question about, okay, when we do yin and yang, hot and soft, that 30, 70, 60, 40, I normally don't like to assign number because once you assign number, people start stick to it and say, okay, that's 45, 55, or 73, things like this. So I'm taking it a little bit extreme. I remember when Chen Wong was teaching the Xinjia, and they say turn 45, and he always kind of add one sentence, say 40 is okay, 50 is okay. So he kind of gives you the flexibility. And Sifu Chengzhou also said about use the Tai Chi movement or principle flexibly, agilely. When you how you move, it could move forward and move backward with the same movement. So that gives you the flexibility that how it is. And we talk about like double weight people that 50-50, and it actually is not, that's not what it meant in Tai Chi. Is like how your energy gets stuck or how your energy flow with the energy. So that's kind of like the way how I start this session. That people, they all do Tai Chi for different way, and you kind of have to ask yourself, what am I seeing in Tai Chi? How that help you? Um, and then we can get into some basic principle that there are certain things that we should follow, but certain things that we should be able to express ourselves that have our own personality, I would say, the way they put into the Tai Chi.
Mhm.
And recently I have a few interesting questions about um, how we sink the qua and how we call it yuan dang to make our leg nice and round to root it into the ground, right? So um, we talk about the qua right here, and this is actually I don't talk about it often. That is the root of the qua we call qua gan, and that's the one that what get me thinking is when one time Kathy was talking about instead of turning the foot left and right, she actually was thinking about opening up the qua
Mhm.
to set the direction. So that is kind of like, and I can see how Kathy moved from one level to another level when she started thinking about this. And the type of question when students ask me would kind of give me the hint how that uh, would help the student how they excel on them on themselves. And just last week, I was asking a very simple question in San Francisco class. When we because the question was asked how we keep our back way aligned with our spine, right? 虚灵顶劲 means like we kind of like making our uh, spirit or our sun to kind of like suspend upward, but not stiff, to align with our spine. Then I asked the group, a while back, I sent out a picture that how we, if we tilt our head forward 1 inch or 10 degree, how many more pounds stress we put on our spine? And Shushu give me a very good answer. Every inch, 10 pounds. So actually, Kylie also did it. So I know that some people read the stuff. I was very happy
Mm.
that I sent out the thing that some of them actually would help you. And it is true that how we um, set ourselves up when we start doing Tai Chi, suspend the crown of the head up and tuck the chin in at the same time. Instead of like people just think about, okay, I tuck my chin in like this. You have to suspend the crown of the head up and tuck it in. So at least your spine is straight. At this position, you can relax your chest by just letting go your breath, right? And then your back. So circulation can go up to your head, and that is one of the very basic principle when we do Tai Chi that we should know that how that will set our upper body up. And then how we tuck the tailbone in and then relax the lower back, your life gate, and then relax. I talk about the joke about the dimple on the side of your thigh, called uh, what is it called now? It's called that little dimple on the side is called one tail.
Mhm. The
Okay.
acupuncture
Yeah, the
points.
acupressure point called one tail, the little dimple on the group area.
Mm.
Then it was funny that one of my teacher went to a workshop. Then he showed people when he tucked the tailbone forward and then he relaxed that little acupressure point on the side. So his upper body can set right on the quad, and then the front dantian relax, the back dantian relax, so your energy can flow together. And how we tilt a little bit forward, and then so our, I would say, center of gravity is about 1/3 is right on top of the bubbling spring. So now you can see I start from the top to the middle and to the bottom that goes through the body alignment. Those are the, I would say, the very basic fundamental we should kind of know. And then based on that, you can express how you do your form. We talk about center and balance and 中定. Then Master Chen Wong always talk about his posture, but how to get to the 中定, that expanding your arm forward, you need to start from the Wuji. So that's one of the things that I probably will talk about it in the workshop,
Yeah.
upcoming workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is it really, the idea of 一人一太极, to each their own Tai Chi, is really about learning Tai Chi, learning the principles. And after you've learned the principles, really bringing your own expression to it. Can you talk a little bit about how to really like work on the principles? And I think one of the folks who have submitted a question asked, like, when you can't go to in-person classes, how do you make sure that you are doing things properly? What are some of the things that you could do at home to sort of continue the training?
Those questions almost related to another question about what if I doing it wrong.
Yeah, a lot of beginners have that, right?
I'm afraid, did you practice? No, I'm worried about I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
So remember, I talked about one thing that I learned from Sifu Xinjia. Every time when he teach me something, he would say, do 100 times, do 100 times, right? It doesn't matter doing it right and wrong, because that right and wrong is bring up another principle, like Master Tony Wong talk about deviation. Nobody's doing it perfect. Nobody is doing it straight like this line behind me. Everybody a little bit this way, a little bit that way, front or back, it's okay. As long as your intention in making it straight, right? So I can never know I'm 100% straight. I say I suspend the crown of the head up and tuck the chin in. I know that by looking at all my previous posture, I normally will lean to the left because I have right shoulder problem. So because of this, I learned that if people their head tilt this way, they probably have the left shoulder problem. So how to use those principles to learn at home is, especially people are not in person right now, that when you just follow those principles, like suspend the crown of the head up, tuck the chin in, relax the shoulder, right? So I going over and over. You read just one good Tai Chi book, they will talk about the same principle almost. And you don't need to read 100 of them. Just read one good one. And then the question come up, a student actually say, okay, Sifu, when I tuck the chin in, suspend the crown of the head up, my neck actually wanted to go that way, right? Of course, that student have problem. And I read one of the question that, okay, I have arthritis and I have certain shoulder injury or lower back injury. How I'm going to heal it, I'm going to fix it. Your body is very smart. So how to align you? First, you wanted to align yourself, like suspend the crown of the head up, tuck the chin in, relax the shoulder. Then if you feel your body's leaning forward, right? So you know that your body going off the alignment. You can go back. A lot of time by relaxing, your posture will slowly go back to the, I would say, the more correct way. everybody's body feel a little bit different. That's why when I see the title like to each to their own Tai Chi, everybody do their own Tai Chi. We all feel a little bit different. Our inside organ are different shape, different weight distribution. That's why maybe the way that I corrected one student might not be the same way to be comfortable with the other person. You have to feel comfortable yourself. I think that's how I would take that. I would take that approach to practice at home. You have to be comfortable. If you feel that your knees gonna have little pain, then something is wrong. You have to bring it up and say, what is the alignment issue? Am I extending my knees way too over, or I am actually bending my back or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, what a relief to know that we don't have to all be like doing Tai Chi in one perfect way. That we can always be aware and adjust what we're practicing to our conditions. Um, I'm curious if this is a good time to actually address some of your questions, Tony R.
Oh, they haven't typed it in the chat yet, but we
Okay,
could take it from the document if you like.
sure. So yeah, so feel free if you have any questions, type it in the chat. We can also go through some of the questions that people have submitted earlier. So I want to start with maybe a couple of more sort of concrete questions. So there's a question on, can I use silk reeling exercises to increase my energy level?
I would say definitely yes, because a lot of time thinking about still willing exercise is to open up a lot of the blockage. And sometimes we have blockage we may not even know. Or we have blockage a lot of time that um, I have to say, a lot of time we know we have problems. And do you really want to take the effort to try to resolve it? It's easy. Sometimes people say, okay, I'm going to see a doctor. Instead of just work your way out. I have shoulder problem, I have knees problem before I do sit willing. If you continuing doing the same set of the sit willing, you will open up all the joint. A lot of the, I would say, not the muscle will open up, and definitely will help you release the energy. So your energy level will get a lot better, because a lot of time when you have all this, I would say, injury or blockage within you, then your energy level probably will not be as good as you have good circulation, good chi flow through your body, and you're feeling a lot more comfortable and ease.
Yeah. Thank you. Another question is on Fajin, which is power release. That's particularly a strong characteristic of Chen style Tai Chi. And so this question is Fajin appropriate for older learners, like over 70 years old? And what are the benefits and purpose of Fajin?
Yeah, the benefit doing fudging is first, you have to learn how to do the proper energy fudging. Is like you have to learn how to properly store and release. So the body alignment is very critical. And okay, how you store and how you release. Three big, I would say, group of muscle that help you to do fudging. One is from the leg. That's why we talk about yuan dang, and you sink into the qua. Energy come from the ground, go through your dantian, your waist area. Then you make sure, we always talk about, do not turn your hip and to wobble your knees, right? You're going to be able to turn your, we call the dantian or the bell meridian. So you're able to turn this, and then you extend your limb, the part that you wanted to actually propagate the energy to. So the fudging actually help to learn proper body alignment. And that you're right, actually, when we get older, our joint and our ligament not as I would say, flexible as when we were younger. So we will not be able to do as hard like when I was 20 years old. But we should still wanted to do some fudging. One is to send a signal or message to your bones or ligaments. Say, hey, I'm still young. I wanted to do fudging. I wanted to be strong. I don't want to just lay there just drinking coffee and watch TV and not doing nothing. So that's why one of the exercise we talk about, we tap our heel a little bit. So send the signal to the bone that, hey, I wanted to be strong. Your body is very smart. And if you do certain thing, a lot of time you use it, you start getting stronger. You don't use it, you lose it, right? So Sifu always talk about when you do a punching, when you should do fighting, you should do it, but not like as strong as young when I was younger. I have to watch it. But I really think at different ages, you should still do fighting because you first learn a good alignment and then it send a really good signal to your body that you needed to be stronger. You're going to be learning this fighting is not like it's just like external. It's come from inside how you store the energy and releasing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. There's a related question on how to adapt or adjust my practice of silk curling exercise and Laojia to compensate for upper spine arthritis.
Yeah, and the upper spine arthritis or other injury.
Mm.
And I actually saw a student actually when they were doing silvering, the body really twisted. So we have a certain rule, just like classic,
Mm-hmm.
that your center of gravity do not go out that circle. Otherwise, you lost your balance, right? So that balance and center of gravity is maintained as one of the core principle. By that, you spiraling up out and then opening up your joint during the silvering will help you actually, I would say, strengthen some of your tendon and your ligament by just spiraling it out in a connected way.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times that's the one of the reason we call silvering exercise is all the movement is connected. They're not we're not doing choppy like this, right? We're always doing a continuous movement. And then each movement to the next movement because we're connecting. We're not doing a lot of that we call dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is like fudging. That's why we have to be a little bit more careful, right? When we do dynamic stretching. When we do silvering is continuous movement. So that should help people to open up a lot of the blockage and stretch and then strengthen your tendon and your ligament. That would kind of help your arthritis and some of the pain area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat.
Yep. Go ahead.
Shushu asks, when you neutralize the energy of the opponent, where does the incoming energy go? To the ground or in the air?
A lot of time you have to think about where you're going to be rooted. It's a very good question. And I think you should probably think about that push hand when people incoming pushing you. Is the person really pushing into a very basic question? They pushing right into your middle door. And middle door is like you have two stand right at, we call hang dang. Hang dang means is you have two legs right here. This is the weakest point when people push you. If the person push right into your perpendicular, into your middle door, then you have to know that get back to the very beginning I was talking about. You're doing 30, 70, 60, 40. If the person knows, you already let the other person know where your weight is, the weight distribution, then it's harder for the other person to change. If you have the high level, is 50-50. 50-50 means you really center and balance and no energy are not stuck. So that people come and push you, you can switch left and right very easy, very fast. So that's the principle of push hand and neutralizing. The way that when the person push you, so yes, you can redirect, but you cannot just redirect. There's more than this. You have to engage first. The engaging energy is pang energy, is a springy energy, right? So whenever people push you first, you should have the pang energy to, I would say, engage. Once you connect, you can redirect. So that's more than just like, oh, I just turn left or turn right or transfer into the guang. You have to engage, then you connected the energy. Then you can do left and right or to the guang. And it's very obvious if I turn left and right because people can see, or you can actually think about, okay, I turn left, turn right to neutralize easy. But actually the vertical is harder, but is more high level. You think about inside, how you can transfer the energy vertically, up or down. You can do it either way, depending on the oncoming energy.
Yeah. Tony, let me know if there are more questions from the audience. But this kind of reminds me of a question that that was submitted earlier, which is, so how do we know our levels? Like, you know, how do we define different levels? What are some of the examples? And then, you know, follow-up questions other people have asked are like, you know, how do we shift our focus depending on what we're training for? Yeah.
Yeah, the level is remember this it fit right into the title of this workshop, to teach people their own Tai Chi. Everybody have different level. I have to say, Chen Wong set up 5 level. And one day, Master Chen Wong say to me, Tony, I think maybe I should set up for 6 level. So I'm sure Master Chen Wong probably at 6 level now. That's why he say, okay. So if that level is not really firm, I think everybody gonna have a different standard. But you walk into Chen village, that's 3 pack right there. The first one is called Chaoshu, means you really familiar with your form. You really almost like you close your eye, you can do your form. That's the first level. Until then, the next level, the next plaque you walk in there is called Dongjing. You would know the path of your energy, how the energy flowing.
This is after you're familiar with the form.
Yes. And then the last plaque, that's the highest level. Is right when you go to Chen village, there's 3 plaques. The last one is called Sunning, that you connected. I would say that I would translate that word integration. You would actually integrate it, your internal and your external, to the point that you actually integrated the whole universe. There are times when you do Tai Chi, you are so integrated. A lot of time I would think your whole body is moving, your dantian. You can almost feel the universe is moving with you. I think that's when you reach that level called Sunming is integrated. That's why a lot of the I would say semantic that people put in, and I don't like to take it as like really literally, but instead it would to what are they really mean, almost like the very famous standing posture called Santi posture, heaven, man, earth. What's that mean? People say, right? It's actually talking about integration, how you integrate inside and outside and become almost you felt the whole universe and you're the center. You are doing your Tai Chi and nobody else there. So that's what I see, the different level. Of course, Master Chen Wong also one time he draw a pyramid like this. And then he say level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Level 1, you kind of do your Tai Chi, and you kind of learning your the external movement, but you make mistake all the time. You need a teacher to help you. Okay, level 2, you get a little bit better now. Teacher correct you, your form get a little bit better, but you still have a lot of question about application, why you're doing certain movement. Teacher helps you. When you reach to level 3, you're very familiar with the form, you know the application, and that's why he draw the pyramid. You still make mistake, but this time because you know the principle already, you go off sideways, you hit the pyramid, then you will go back to the center, and then slowly you bounce back and forth, because like when you go way off, you know, because it's way off the principle. So that's how people they get, okay, now you're at the level you can do self-correction. And then by then you can improve and better. So that's why he draw the pyramid, because at the first level you can go way off before you even know it. You need the teacher to help you. Then when you second level, the pyramid get narrower. Then you don't get that way off. You know something wrong. And then the third level, you get better. And then but different way have different way of doing their leveling.
Yeah. That's kind of like the triangle of the range of
Yes.
deviation. At the beginning, you have a lot of, deviation, and then the deviation gets narrower and narrower.
Yep.
I think I'm curious of. I mean, this is you talked about very early on that don't quantify things because it's just kind of random, but there is a little bit of a ratio, perhaps. I'm curious if you have a suggestion about that, because I'm hearing you say, like, really encouraging people to learn and be very aware of what their own body is doing, right? And that seems to be only coming from a lot of repetition. Do it 100 times. Don't worry about it being wrong, right? And then I also hear you say, like, there is the principle that will guide you to practice more close to the what's right, or like eliminate the deviation. And obviously a teacher is there. So I'm wondering of how much time should people, or effort should people spend practicing doing the repetition versus trying to read books and understand the principles.
Yeah, there's a balance. You do have to do the form. Like Chaoshu actually means you have to be familiar with the form. You kind of have to know the sequence, right? You cannot kind of like just wanted to learn the theory and the principle and not practicing. The practicing is, I have to say, we're all different. Even we all do different Tai Chi, but learning. There are people learn faster than the other because different background. There are people have dance background or martial art background or very physically gifted. Or there are people they just tumble all over even 100 times. So you have to kind of do the judgment how much time you wanted to really practice, right? So the principle a lot of time is not that hard, I have to say, but because you practice, then based on the practice you will understand the principle. A lot of time if you just know the principle, you might not know what it really means until you practice enough. So it goes side by side, and everybody a little bit different, but you cannot do one without the other. You have to. It's almost like my teacher say, do 100 times. So if I have to assign a number, and people kind of know that Sifu Chen always say 100 times. He told me he practiced 20 times the form every day, and during his prime time, right? When he's older, he doesn't practice as many. But when my teacher's older son, he's the 3-time consecutive push hand national champion in China. He was very proud of himself that practicing 20 times a day because his superior in the army, when he was in the army, kind of know he do Tai Chi and let him practice. And he said, the floor is all wet, it's sweating. And he was so proud of himself, and that he wrote to his father, say, Father, I practice 20 times the form repetition every day. Father come back and say, you know, in Chinese culture, sometimes say, son, you're very good. You know, Chen Wong practice 30 times. So everybody is different. I want people to be comfortable, and Chinese have a way they call 中庸, like moderate. You want it to be comfortable. You do not want to practice to the form that you're tired of Tai Chi. You want to enjoy. So I talk about meditation, how you enjoy your meditation. Don't force yourself to do 20 minutes or 30 minutes if you can only do 10 minutes. And you have to enjoy what you're doing. And so start, I would say start slow, do 2 or 3 repetitions, you enjoy it, and then see how your form fit with the principle and theory. I would say that would actually how I would recommend people to do it.
Yeah. We have some time if there are questions from the audience, Tony R.
They haven't written in the chat, but maybe if they wanted to raise their hand, possibly.
Sure. Yeah, let's see. If anyone has a question that they want to bring forward, there's a raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You can use that to raise your hand and ask questions.
I have a question here from Angela.
Okay.
It says, so the goal for correct alignment is to be able to transfer your own weight to the ground efficiently as you relax. How does sinking on the quad work better than the feet?
How the sinking of the quad work better with the feet?
Let me explain. I haven't formulated my question really well, but I always were asking people to sink on the quad, right? So so why seems like the quad is in the middle of our body, and does it transfer by sinking on the quad? Does it transfer our weight efficiently to the ground better than, like, let's say, asking people to sink on your feet? You don't want to sink on your knee because it will hurt your knee. But why not directly to the feet? But why are we doing it on the quad?
So I wanted to tell you, because the quad, remember we talked about the quad is this area. This we call the root of the quad. Quad gun. You see your whole body actually is rest right here. When we talk about sinking, and I remember that's one question actually in before the workshop, they asked, how do you sink the chi down? Angela, a lot of time, of course, you can use your feet to push anything, but you're not really incorporating one of the biggest, I would say, the biggest group of the muscle is the quad. That's a very strong muscle. And if you are top heavy, so the root of the issue a lot of time is people, we call about hang qi, means your qi gets stuck in the chest. People do this. They're not able to sink into the quad. So one of the tools I normally would ask people to do is, when you are doing pushing, you're doing something. That's why you wanted to sink, right? You have to, if you very top heavy, very muscular, a lot of time you're not able to do so, do one exercise by letting go the breath. Just let go the breath. So now you feel the quad get heavy. The quad, that joint, have a big muscle. If you just think about the feet is one of the muscle that pushing and supporting your body. but it's not, if you're not incorporating the qua, which is have to do with what your knees alignment is, and then your whole body was supporting it right at that joint, and you are localized the I would say the movement into the feet, and then it get into a little bit more complicated, depend why you wanted to sink into the feet, what's the ratio, 60, 40, 30, 70, that is it in the front, in the back, depend why you're doing this. So the qua is actually supporting your whole body. When you sink, you would connect it into the ground instead of just using the feet, because pushing with the heel and pushing with the ball are a different, another big issue that always say very interesting issue how we do fudging, but we probably talk about this probably in another setting.
Yeah, more technical details and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm aware of time. I do want to leave Shifu some time to talk about the upcoming workshop, and see if anyone has questions on that. I think when I've received some questions on, the silk reeling exercises, Xinjia form. I think some people are curious whether it's time for them to start doing the Xinjia form if they haven't really done that, if the workshop is a good time to start, and what are some of the differences between Xinjia and Laojia?
Okay, the upcoming workshop, I think in the morning section, we gonna do the Zhanzhong, and we start with the Wuji stand. So that is, I would say, the very basic of how we do our body alignment, right? We talk about the 3 acupressure point and how we align ourselves to the point that we into a stage we call the natural equilibrium position. As soon as we kind of find the position a little bit, that's the position we have the least restriction. Circulation will get, promoted, improved, and our chi flow better. But once you feel that, I would say that stage of the sensation, people talk about the chi, how your energy floating, then a lot of stuff will come together. Either you do fudging or you doing it for health reason. So that's why we start with the Wuji stand, and then we start talking about Zhongding. Zhongding posture is when you have raised your arm and expanding upward. So you start talk about how your body balancing in posture instead of like hand just on the side, naturally balance. Now hands right here or hands right here. How do you balance it with the body accommodating? How to that counter reaction? That's why we do Zhongding, and then we do silk whirling in the morning also. A lot of time people they do silk whirling, they're not really engaged, I would think 100% to get the full benefit. And people have shoulder problem. A lot of time in silk whirling, we have posture like this, spiral. If you really engage on the joint, you see how just doing this, I actually open up the back. And then people ask, Tony, there's time you do this, there's time you do this. But when I do this, you see, I actually open up this muscle and this muscle. So a few people, they actually have shoulder problem, and instead of doing silk whirling, people like to have new stuff. So instead of just telling them the spiral, like you see this spiral, you see how this open up the shoulder, I would tell them to do this. Because if I say stick your thumb out, they have an indication. They go, okay, I'm turning, I'm really turning. Oh, I'm turning this way. They actually doing the same thing to open up the energy. So I wanted to have this opportunities to go over the silk whirling exercise. That some of that might be application, but a lot of time is for the health reason, how we open up this different part of your body, and then that will really help your Tai Chi. In the afternoon, the Xinjia are very, I would say, very different energy from Laojia. Laojia very strict, direct, very internalized, because that's how they was taught in the beginning, and they talk about inside. But remember, Yan was talking about there are times that you don't see your teacher all the time, not like in the old day, father teaching the son. They watching the son every day. The son watch the dad doing the form, and that's how they transmit the martial art from one generation to another generation. Xinjia is the way that I would say more explicitly that the movement. Things inside you see a little bit more clear. They're not hidden like a martial art like before. That okay, I'm doing certain application. I don't want you to see. Like one of the posture, like fist under the elbow. Why I'm not showing the fist? Even the name is called the fist. I'm just doing this because I don't want you to know. In the Laojia, it's all hidden inside. The teacher of the Xinjia are more expressively to see the spiraling and the silvering, and more probably a lot of time maybe help you more beneficial for you to open up your joint, and especially for beginner, how you shift your weight a little bit bigger to see your 60, 40, 70, 30 versus like when you get very high level like Master Tony Wong, Chen, you don't even see where the weight is. It's all inside. So Xinjia is a way to, I would say, a tool to help some of the people that will learn the internal energy a little bit easier. So I think that people they're interested because, and also when you do the movement a little bit bigger, some people may be more appealing to the visual for Xinjia. So that's one of the reasons I like to do Xinjia, and I learned the whole system from Master Tony Wong, the first form and the second form.
Yeah, that's great. It I'm curious because it sounds to me like all of these contents, the Qigong, Wuji, and Zhongding, Silk Reeling, and then Xinjia, they're really just packages that incorporates a lot of the principles. Could you distill some of these principles if and this is related to some of the questions that folks have been asking, especially before, like, what are some of the most essential skills or principles or theories that as instructor we try to pass on to our students when we teach?
I have to say that it kind of remind me one of the questions that what do I get out of Tai Chi or something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I kind of remember somebody asked that question, and it surprisingly, I did notice at the beginning a lot of things happened to me that I didn't realize, and I didn't look. I was not looking for. I was doing Chen Tai Chi after I did Yang Tai Chi for 10 years. I was looking for a martial art. I'd say, oh, this Du Fa Jing and all that. That's all I was looking for. And surprisingly, a lot of things happened. And one thing is, when I do Tai Chi, a lot of time, you guys, some of you in my class know that I tell you, what do I tell you? I say, slow down. I am actually a very fast-paced person. Yan knows if I go dinner with you guys, before she start, I already finished properly.
That's not true, but, but you do eat and talk very fast.
so I know that Kathy turned around, the stuff that she gave me already gone. So I'm very, very fast paced. The only thing slow me down is when I do Tai Chi. I do not know why. Up to this point, I'm still amazed. I'm just enjoying so much. I cannot do fast. Then you guys know that when you ask me questions, say, wait, because you guys say, oh, Tony, this move. I said, no, there's no this move. Oh, is it this move? And you guys know I slow you down. It just, this amazing. I still think about how Tai Chi slow me down, and because I enjoy it, and that's another benefit I got without knowing. And I was practicing a lot with a group of my friends. They practicing Yang style, and they're from the CMC style. They were always show off they have very good roots, because people know CMC style. They have very good roots. They would with one leg go up and down, and those. Cause in my mind I kind of embarrassed. I cannot do this. So but after I do several years of Chen Tai Chi, I was able to do it without knowing. My leg and my quad get stronger by just doing it, and just naturally it build the strength and the stabilize, and I can do it. A lot of those benefit by just doing it every day, and I slowly finding out this. I also tell you guys that I have asthma. I cough all the time because I couldn't even sleep flat when I was young. By doing Tai Chi, it helps me. And of course, when allergy season come, I still have a lot of problem. But it helps me a lot. And my shoulder problem. Those are the benefit that I personally got. And amazing. I just say how Tai Chi bring to my life and help me.
Yeah. Any additional questions over there from the audience, Tony R?
I think that's it. They were just super focused on Sifu's answer, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. If there's one thing you would like to say to the audience as a takeaway, what would you say?
I would say enjoy Tai Chi.
Mm.
Instead of just doing it because you have to do it. Learn to enjoy Tai Chi, enjoy Qigong. I would say that would really bring a lot of amazing things to you.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who are still considering joining, I think Tony R, could you please drop the link to Sifu Tony's website? Thank you so much. And of course, you will be hearing from us. I will send out the link to the recording of this session after it's ready. And we look forward to connecting to you either online or seeing you in classes and workshops.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Yeah.
both
Thank
so
you,
much.
Tony.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Sifu and everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.